What is up, guys? Today we're going to talk about a few things that can happen in prison what are outside of the norm. Things that you can't really prepare for, things that nobody really talks about. And I'm just going to talk about them because they say you can't buy experience, which is absolutely true. So what I'm going to do is talk about a few of my experiences, and if you're going down that road, you can prepare for it mentally. Now, first of all, I made a video yesterday, and in the video I said I was talking about a guy raping his cellmate, and I said he had one of those long names that I couldn't pronounce, so I said he had a Unga Bunga name, and apparently a few people got offended by that because everyone gets offended by everything now. First of all, the guy was a rapist, so I say whatever I want about him. And second of all, it was a direct quote from Family Guy. So, Brian's talking to someone in the audience and he says, "Oh, you've got one of those weird Unga Bunga names." And I thought it was funny. So I stole the joke, put it into one of my videos, and apparently a couple of people got offended. So if you've got a problem with it, go and see Family Guy producers. It's their joke, I just stole it. But anyway, a few things what can happen in prison. First one is suicide. Nobody really talks about this, but it can happen to anyone. It happened to me. There was a guy, they put him in my cell, and the thinking was, well, he's a vulnerable prisoner, right? If we put him in with someone, they might take the piss out of him, they might bully him, so we'll put him in with me, because they knew I was, I'm respectful, I'm not a bully, I'm a nice person. So they put him in with me because they knew I wouldn't take the piss out of him. I knew he was suicidal because he had cuts all over him, but he seemed alright. I sat up with him all night, we were talking, we were having a laugh, and when he went to bed about 10 o'clock at night, everything seemed alright. And then early hours of the morning, he stood at the door, tapping the door, and I was like, "What's up with you?" I put the light on, there's blood everywhere, he cut his neck, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm stuck in a cell with him. Just imagine that. There's a dude with a razor blade, blood all over, and he's just stood shaking at the door. And I was just like, fucking hell. So I put the buzzer on, and we just had to wait for the screw. Screw came, carted him off down to medical. You have to wait for keys to come and all that. And then they take him away, and you've got to mop up all his blood. And these are things that no one addresses. These are things that can happen in prison, and I'm left with these memories of things like this. Just imagine being locked in a room with someone. Luckily, he only wanted to hurt himself, but it's you're stuck in there with him, a tiny little room, and there's blood everywhere. It's a nightmare. And these are the things that can happen whilst you're in prison. There's another one, is a guy when I had a cellmate and he had a fit. I didn't know anything about having fits. Nobody ever sat me to one side and said, "Oh, if your padmate has a fit, you have to do this." I didn't know what were happening. We were sat there talking, I think we were playing cards, and he just started like trying to bite his ear. And it was weird, and I was like, "What are you doing, you dickhead?" And he was like he was trying to bite his ear, and I was like, "Are you alright? What are you doing? This is not funny, what are you doing?" And then he starts falling on the floor and twitching. I was like, oh my God. So I put the buzzer on. Again, we've just got to wait for the screws. And he's fucking having a fit on the floor. I didn't know what to do. And I said to the screw, I said, "He's fucking having a fit here." So I'm like trying to grab him, trying to hold him. And I can still see it now. Again, it's these memories, what you've got from prison. Another one is cellmates that don't bathe, don't clean the teeth. I've never understood that. Prison is boring as hell. What I used to do is I'd wake up in the morning and I would have a shower straight away, wake myself up, clean, fresh for the day. Sometimes I'd even have a shower again in the afternoon just to pass the time. They give you everything you need, so there's really no excuse. They give you a towel, a scabby old towel. They give you shampoo sachets, they give you a little soap bar. So there's really no excuse not to go in the showers. Depending on which prison you're in. Some prisons, like private prisons, you can pretty much go in the shower like whenever they let you out. But on the YO wings, they'll lock the showers because everyone's always fighting in there. And private HMP prisons is like they'll let you out at a certain time. Like Walton, you got a shower once every 3 days, something like that. So it's at their discretion. But you know, privately run jails, you can pretty much go in the shower whenever they open the doors. So I used to go in the morning and sometimes in the afternoon just to pass the time on because it's boring. And I've had a few cellmates that just don't go in the shower, and it just blows my mind. And they're absolutely stinking. There was one guy in Ranby. He was a good lad, really good lad, funny as hell, but he absolutely stunk. He stunk. He didn't just stink the cell out. He stunk the whole wing out. And I would just walk in his cell, and it was fucking overpowering. You could feel it burn in your eyes. Oh, Jesus. And then one day when he did actually get his shower kit to go to the shower, the whole wing erupted. They're all, hey, go on, Mick. Mick looked round and he said, fuck you, cunts, I'm not going in now. Went back to his cell. But yeah, I've never understood that. And you get cellmates that just don't clean the teeth. And I've had a few of them. And I'd even buy like mouthwash, you know, and you just fucking at least swill your mouth out, and they just have like brown, decaying stumps in the teeth. And I'm thinking, just that must hurt. I could understand if you're a drug addict, you know, you haven't got the amenities, you're homeless, you can't really clean your teeth, you know, if you're a heroin addict and clean your teeth, you don't really care about that. But when you're in prison, there's nothing to do. It takes like 1 minute, it passes 1 minute to clean your teeth. And I remember one cellmate, he was a good lad, but he just had black stumps in his mouth. And what I should have done is sat down and said, why don't you clean your teeth? Why? But I was too polite, you know, I didn't have the heart to ask him. But he never cleaned his teeth, and he just had like black stumps in his mouth. And yeah, I just never understood that. And you see people in the street, I don't know if they've like got a fear of cleaning their teeth, I don't know what it is. But yeah, you get people like that, people that don't go in the shower. You know, especially cellmates. When you've got a cellmate and he pongs, and then your mates are coming in the cell and they might think it's you what smells, but it's not, it's him. And but yeah, that's just a few things what can happen in prison. What you don't really, no one really talks about it, so you can't really prepare yourself. But anyway, yeah, that's the video for today. If you like the video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Nerf.pat.